Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Sakura Succubus 3, Part 2. Let's jump right in, shall we? A few days later. Asagawara, you're just the man I want to see. My boss greets me jubilantly when I arrive at work on Monday morning. He slaps me on the back with one of his large, meaty hands, and I try to suppress a groan. I'm glad my boss has warmed to me after years of my working underneath him, but being in his good graces is almost as painful as being in his bad books. Those hearty slaps of his hurt, damn it. I'm not a small man by any means. I'm one of the tallest people in my office, but my boss is tall and wide. I think he... What the fuck? Oh, I pressed too much. Oh, they hurt, damn it. I'm not a small man by any means. One of the tallest men in my office. I think he must have an extra 100 pounds on me, if not more. I hope he hasn't left any bruises. Now, what are you doing, lad? Sit down. Sit. I have something I want to discuss with you. It's a highly important matter. Right. What is it? I have a job for you. It should prove to be proper, or it should prove to be pretty interesting too. More so than taking photos at dull political events. Uh-huh. I've been working at this company long enough to know what my boss considers newsworthy. He's a bit of a leech, and he loves running articles on famous idols, actresses, pinup models. This is ostensibly in the name of selling more copies of our newspaper, but in actuality, I think my boss just likes gawking at all the photographs of pretty women I snap for him. There's nothing wrong with gawking at pretty women. Of course, idols, actresses, and pinup models are in the business of being gawked at. But my boss doesn't do much to hide his interest, shall we say. He's so transparent. So, what's this job? Do you want me to meet some celeb again? Yes, indeed. I have it on good authority that there should be several important people at this event. Watsuzaki, Marina, chief among them. Marina? I sit up a little straighter. Marina's name has piqued my interest. Do you want me to take some photos of her for an upcoming article? Her and whoever else happens to be there. A big charity event is going to be held this weekend after the weekend after next. You see, it's all set up by Miss Watsuzaki. She's arranged a ball from the social elite with champagne and caviar, the works. There'll be an orchestra and hundreds of people will be there. The price of entry is steep, but all proceeds will go towards developing a new children's wing at a local hospital. Oh, really? I hadn't heard. Didn't Miss Watsuzaki tell you about it? She didn't have a chance. She's been so busy with work. Maybe this is why it's been so silent on Marina's front for the last few weeks. She must have been busy arranging this charity ball on top of all her other responsibilities. Marina sure is a hard worker. That's a shame. I'd rather banking on your continued relationship with Miss Watsuzaki. It's thanks to your relationship that we're being invited to all these prestigious jobs. My boss slaps me on the back hard. Don't let her get away from you now. I'll do my best, sir. Not that Marina's a fish or anything. Good lad. That's the spirit. Marina might not have informed you about this event, but she was kind enough to tell me all about it. She sent me an email this morning asking if I wish to cover it in my paper. She requested that I send you over to take some photos of it. It's good PR for her and her company. She asked for me by name. Do you think you're up to the challenge? My coworkers are beginning to whisper at this. They're trying to keep their voices down, but I can still hear them. What? Asagawara again? He's not the only photographer in the office. Why does he get all the best jobs? The boss never used to rate him so much. But now he's putting all his faith in him? It isn't fair. I'm a better photographer than he is. If anybody deserved to go to that event, it's me. Well, we all know life isn't fair. It's not meritocracy, whether you get ahead or not. It's all determined on who you know, not what. I sure wish Watsuzaki Marina would pay attention to me. What does she see in Asagawara anyway? This is it. It's official. There is no God. I have no faith in this world. My coworkers commiserate with one another, all while shooting me vicious glances. If looks could kill, I'd be dead several times over. Fortunately, looks can't kill, and I'm very much alive. I just need to try and ignore them. Being the objective of the office's collective jealousy is painful, but there's no point trying to argue back. It'd be a waste of my breath. And in any case, I'm too excited about this opportunity to pay what they have to say much heed. The ball itself sounds like it'll be a fun event. Maybe I'll be able to try to foie gras. But I'm more excited about seeing Marina again. It's been ages. Yes, sir. I'll do my best. I knew you would. Make sure you make a good impression. You'll be representing our paper to a whole ballroom full of rich and famous. Make sure you brush your hair for once, and don't wear those awful jeans. Rent yourself a nice suit. Yes, sir. I reply with a touch less enthusiasm than before. I never thought of my boss as a very homey guy, but he's starting to sound like my dad. I wonder if my boss has any kids of his own. He's old enough for it, but I've never heard him mention having a wife, or a mistress, nor a family. I want you to take a lot of photographs. You need to capture the glitz and the glamour of this event in its fullest. You can't afford to screw this up. It's an incredible opportunity. And if it's not too much trouble, my boss grins. I'd like you to butter Miss Watsuzaki up, too. Flatter her ego. Try and keep in her good books. Offer to dance with her. Maybe, if the opportunity arises, if she invites you back to her hotel room, don't turn her down, for pity's sake. Miss Watsuzaki is a very important business connection for us. I'd hate for you to turn her against us. I'll do my best, sir. I reassure my boss not that I really need to. The full extent of my relationship with Marina isn't public knowledge, but it's progressed further than I think even my boss realizes. We're bound together by a strong bond. I care for Marina deeply, and I'm sure she cares for me. That'll be why she invited me to this event. I bet she wants to spend time with me too. This isn't just a good gig. This is a chance to spend a bit of quality time with a woman I love. I can hardly wait. I just wonder what sort of dress she'll be wearing to this most prestigious of events. Time passes and the date of Marina's charity ball arrives. I buy myself a nice suit several days in advance, just like my boss instructed. It's costly, but buying it outright isn't much more expensive than renting. Move over, I'll tell myself. If Marina invites me to even more of these events, I'll need a nice suit of my own. Maybe it's presumptuous of me to assume I'll receive any future invitations like this. But I don't see why Marina wouldn't. We are partners, after all, and I don't mean that in a business sense. The ball takes place in a fancy government building with smooth marble floors, gilt chandeliers hanging from the ceiling. I don't arrive late by any means, but there's already a lot of people thronging the ballroom when I do arrive. There's a lot of wealthy women wearing extravagant, elaborate dresses, but nobody looks more beautiful than Marina. Damn, okay. She's resplendent in a crimson gown with a very low back. The dress clings to her every single curve, and it makes her look more gorgeous than ever. When she sees me, she flits over to me, a glass of champagne in one hand and a bright smile upon her made-up face. Hiroki, it really is wonderful to see you here. It's good to see you too, Marina. But should you really be talking to me now? Why shouldn't I? Marina purses her lips. You forgot, I am the one who arranged this event. I should be allowed to speak to whomever I wish. I'm not saying you can't, it's just... I craned my neck about the luxurious room. Most of these people are unfamiliar to me, but a handful look familiar. I'm sure I've seen the man in the suit, though it's not very descriptive. All the men here are wearing suits. By the trestle table of canopies before. Is he a politician? I distantly remember seeing him on TV. I think the bald man conversing with a gaggle of pretty leggy ladies is a politician too. Isn't he the Minister of Welfare? Education? It's something like that. That woman over there is a popular enka singer from the 80s, and I'm sure the man she's walking with arm in arm is the owner of a large electronics company. This place is crawling with the rich, the mighty, and the important. How many connections does Marina have, anyway? There's a lot of people here with way more influence than me. Shouldn't you be trying to butter them up? All in due time, my dear Hiroki. The mere fact I invited them here to this gathering of elites should be enough to flatter most of their egos. You're quite right that I'll have to do a bit more schmoozing throughout the night, but I can spare at least a few minutes for you. But I'm nobody special. Darling, please. Marina hands her glass of half-drunken champagne to a conveniently passing waiter, then takes my hand in her own. To me, you are the most important person here. You might not have as much money as the rest of this crowd, but I know you on a far more personal level than most. I know that you are a sweet, kind man who would do anything to help those in need. That is more than can be said for most. But this is a charity event. I doubt these people would have come here if they didn't want to help those in need. Oh, no. Marina wrinkles her nose. When you've been into so many of these events as I have, you'll learn that this is all for show. These people are posturing. They want to look good to the cameras, the newspapers, and the general public. That's why they come to these events like this, and that's why they donate so much more of their money to charity. Well, that and the tax breaks. You can write donations off so you don't need to pay tax on them. Most of the very rich do it as means to safeguard their own cash. I'd wager the majority of the people here are woolly self-interested. They don't really care about anything but themselves. You're different, though. That's why I'm so very fond of you, see? I don't think I'm all that great, but thanks for the vote of confidence. I've been feeling distantly out of the loop ever since I got here. Haha. Other than you, nobody's come to talk to me at all. It's like they can smell money. Or my lack of it. Don't pay them any heed. I won't while I'm with you. Now, Marina's expression brightens as the violin quartet in the corner begins to play. I'm rather fond of this song. Would you care to dance with me, Hiroki? Of course I would. I'd love to dance with you, Marina. In fact, I can think of nothing I'd like more. You really do look beautiful in that dress, by the way. I can't wait to press you against my body. I grin, my self-confidence bolstered by the glitzy atmosphere. I'm almost starting to feel like an elite myself. I bet all the old guys here will be super jealous. I'm sure they will. Marina teeters. I am a very popular woman. My company is in high demand. But worry not. I only have eyes for you. Now, come with me. Follow my lead. Yay! Cha-cha-cha. 1, 2. Cha-cha-cha. 3, 4. Cha-cha-cha. Marina takes my hand and rests it upon the small of her back. Our bodies are pressed up close together. I can feel Marina's chest brushed up against my own. When I inhale, I catch a whiff of her perfume. It's soft and fragrant, like flowers. Now, do you feel alright? I'm getting the hang of it. Good, then keep your eyes on me. Follow my footsteps. Don't worry about keeping time to the music. I can lead you. I have experience with this sort of thing. Marina sways to and fro with the music, her hand clasped in my hand, her white hair fluttering as it does her long red gown. She looks entirely in her element. Her body is relaxed, and there's a smile on her face. Do you think you're getting the hang of this, Hiroki? Maybe. I just hope I don't step on your feet. It'll be fine, dear. Just let yourself go. Give in to the music, or... Marina smiles seductively, pushing her full bosom up against my chest. If that isn't possible, give yourself up to me. Oh. I swallow. Marina's so seductive, she's making my spine tingle. Since her body's so close to mine, I can't help but stare at her. Hey, now. Marina's fingers tighten about my own. She pouts. Eyes on my face while we're in public, if you please. I don't mind if you want to stare at my chest later when we're alone. but at the present, your drooling might cause something of a scandal. I'm sorry about that. It's quite alright. I'm flattered that you like staring so much, really. I know I'm a bit older than you and Cosmos. Sometimes I do worry I'm not enough to satisfy you. But I'm glad my body can excite you all the same. You're really not that old. I'm older than you. By like 3 or 4 years. It's not a big deal. Besides, you look a lot younger. Your skin is so soft and smooth. Why, thank you. You really are a charmer. Now, let's keep going. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Marina counts the beat of the song while I try to keep up. Dancing was a struggle at first, but I think I'm starting to get the hang of it. My body relaxes instinctively against Marina's, and I almost find myself enjoying the experience. I never knew dancing could be so much fun. There you are. You're a natural. You really think so? Mm-hmm. You don't step on my feet just yet, have you? You haven't stepped on my feet just yet, have you? She giggles. With a little more instruction, you would make a fine dancer. You just need to have more confidence in yourself. I wish we could dance the rest of the night away, but alas, the song will soon end. She sighs. After this, I'll have to start playing the hostess again. I'll have to leave you on your own for a little while. Is that alright? It's fine. I have some photographs I need to take anyway. Ah, yes, you are here for work, not pleasure, aren't you? I suppose we're the same in that regard. Well then, I shan't keep you too much longer, but Hiroki? Marina's fingers squeeze mine insistently. Would you care to come back to my hotel with me when all this is over? Dancing with you was fun, but it wasn't quite enough to satisfy me. I would love to spend even more time with you in private. Wouldn't you? Of course. The next morning. It's been a long time since I had such a refreshing night's sleep. You're quite the comfortable pillow, Hiroki. Don't mention it. It's only a little past 7 a.m., but Marina's already up and dressed in her standard business attire. Her white blonde hair has been combed and her suit is devoid of wrinkles. I guess Marina must have prepared to spend the night in a hotel to have a change of clothes in hand. She really does think of everything. She's left the silky red dress she wore last night in a heap on the hotel floor, but it's since been picked up. Said dress is now hanging outside the wardrobe encased in a protective plastic bag. I think it might be a little too late to worry about protecting that dress. It's been creased and wrinkled to high heaven, and I might even have gotten it a little wet. Things were kind of wild last night. Hey, Marina, I was wondering. Yes, what is it? How much did that dress cost? Now, let me see. It was quite expensive. It's a designer piece by... Marina trots out the name of a high-end brand with international renown. I don't know all that much about fashion, but a dress from that fashion house must have cost an enormous amount. I wouldn't be surprised if it was worth more than a full 6 months of my salary. Ah, jeez. It's only now, in the dawning of the morning, that I've realized the enormity of last night's thoughtfulness. I figured that dress was a designer piece, but I didn't realize it was from that company. If I'd have known, I would have been more careful with it. I'm sorry, Marina. I really, truly didn't mean to get it dirty. What is it? What's this? Marina grins. You don't think I care about a silly dress more than our relationship, do you? What? But, Marina's tone makes me pause. I blink at her, nonplussed. That dress isn't silly. It must have cost at least 1,000,000 yen. Only 1,000,000? Marina raises a neatly sculpted eyebrow. My dear Hiroki, you are underestimating me. That piece is entirely unique. It was a tailor-made for me by a professional in the industry to my exact specifications. It was more than just 1,000,000 yen. I would never wear something so cheap to a widely publicized charity, even my own organizing. Huh? My dumbstruck stare widens. Are you saying 1,000,000 yen is cheap? To a woman like me, it is. You forget, I'm always in a public eye. People expect more of me than they do the average woman. I have a lot of expectations to meet. If I did not wear the most expensive, unique pieces to my own charity events, I would be mocked and branded a pauper. There would be stories run about my poor fashion sensibility in magazines across the country. Really? Really, the world of tabloid magazine is nasty and cutthroat. Unscrupulous reporters always try to drag the rich and famous down. I thought you would know that, working in the industry yourself. I guess, but I don't work for a tabloid magazine. That Sakura Daily might be a little trashy, but it's still a proper newspaper. We don't run all that many articles on celebs' clothings. My boss is far more interested in what lies beneath said clothings than how much it costs anyway. But of course. Marina giggles. I know you aren't a vulture like the rest, darling, but the others aren't as forgiving as you are. Once one has reached the heights, one has to be aware of their appearance at all times. It's almost as tiring as running my own company. If I'm being perfectly honest, the continued media attention is exhausting. But I do my best to give them a show all the same. As such, I really couldn't afford to wear a dress that cost anything less than 3 million yen. That is the bare minimum. Anything less would only invite scorn. The 3 million? No way. I look at the crumpled dress, sheathed with its plastic wrap, then back to Marina, towards the dress and over to Marina again. I knew the dress was a big deal. This is even worse than I feared. That dress is ridiculous, insanely costly, and I tore it like an animal. How could I have been so stupid? At this rate, I might as well have defaced all the paintings in the Louvre. I'm so sorry, Marina. I really am the worst. There. Don't be so hard on yourself, dear. Marina's eyes soften. I'm not upset about the dress. You're not? No. It was expensive, but it's only a dress. It's nothing more than a garment to conceal my body, and it has fulfilled its function well. I looked simply splendid in it last night, did I not? Yeah, you looked amazing. Actually, I think I prefer you in your business on it. Yeah, you looked amazing. You looked amazing, yeah. I can remember how the dress clung to every one of Marina's voluptuous curves. It made her look incredibly sexy. What's up, man? When the pair of us danced together, I felt so lightheaded I thought I might collapse. Then we went back to this hotel and, well, with that, we've come back to where we started, haven't we? Thank you very much. Marina beams. She must be pleased to be complimented through, though I'm not sure why. I bet Marina gets lavished with praise on the regular. How are you? I'm a nobody, really. My opinion isn't all that special. But Marina seems to value it all the same. Is that because she values me? I'm glad you liked my dress, Hiroki. I did pick it out while thinking of you. Truthfully, I did want to attract a lot of stares. That was my job. As the hostess of last night's ball, it was my duty to shine. But I wanted to shine for your sake, too. I wanted to look marvelous so you would pay attention to me, and only me. Huh? Really? I blink. I didn't think you were the jealous type. I'm not normally. I have no qualms about sharing you with my sisters. They are fellow succubi, like myself, and it's hard for humans to resist them. But the thought of being passed over in the favor of normal human women is a different matter. Marina pouts cutely, her arms folded. I knew there would be a lot of other famous women at the event. It would be a lie if I said I wasn't a little concerned. That I would choose them over you? I've never cared so much about any of my previous conquests, but, well, you're special. Do you find that strange? No, I think it's endearing. I smile at Marina fondly. I was under the impression she'd brought that dress to make a good impression on the paparazzi. Everything she said earlier attests to it as much, but I now see she might have had ulterior motives. She didn't just want to look good for the sake of gossip magazines and TV specials. She was thinking about me, too. She spent over 3 million yen so she could look good for my sake. Thinking about it like that, it's kind of crazy. I know you can't put a price on love, but 3 million yen is astronomical. I could never even dream about having all that money, but Marina used it to ensure my eyes wouldn't wander. Isn't proof of her love? I don't know what is. Thank you for thinking of me, Marina. It makes me happy. Your tastes were impeccable, as always. You look as good in that dress. You look so good in that dress. I couldn't look at anybody else, much less think about them. You were the only one on my mind all evening. Oh, Hiroki. Marina smiles. Do you really mean that? I do. You stole my heart all over again. Though you didn't really need to buy such an expensive dress. You're so pretty, I bet you'd look good in anything. Even a potato sack. Well, I could hardly show up to my own ball in a potato sack. Though I do appreciate the compliment. Marina chuckles. I suppose I was foolish to be concerned. In a room full of human women, I shall always shine the brightest. Normal women cannot hope to compete with us succubi. That might be true. But I don't like you solely because you're a succubus. I like you for your own sake. You've been looking out for me since the day we met. You act cool and aloof, but I think you're a very kind woman. You're cute. What? I can't believe you would call me cute. Mature or sexy, yes, but not cute. This isn't my archetype. If you'd like cute girls, you'd better be off talking to a you and Cosmos. A you and Cosmos are cute too, but you're cute in a different way. No, I'm not. If you think that, you must need new glasses. You can say whatever you'd like, but Marina... I stab a finger in her direction. You can't stop me from thinking that you're cute. Last night when you cuddled in bed with me like a stray cat, you were practically adorable. You were so sweet, my heart almost stopped beating. Oh, really? That sounds serious. Marina tries to look and sound unaffected. She clears her throat and coils a strand of white hair around her finger, but I can see that she's shaking. In that case, you should probably see a cardiologist. I don't need to. I know there's nothing wrong with my heart. These are my sincere, truthful feelings. I think you were cute, and you'd better accept it. Well, this is quite novel for me, but in that case... Marina draws in her breath. She straightens her shoulders, then says firmly, if you want me to accept that I am cute, which I still do not believe, then I want you to accept that I do not care about the fate my dress has suffered. It was an expensive piece, yes, but I could afford it. I knew I would be dancing, so I was prepared for it to get a bit rumpled. It is perfectly salvageable. I can soon fix it up again. You'd never know it got creased to begin with. I might be wealthy, but I'm not so wasteful I'd let my fine possessions go to ruin. I take good care of all my belongings, so do not fret. You've done nothing to apologize for, and I won't hear of your feeling guilty. Alright, fine. I'll stop apologizing about your dress if you stop saying you're not cute. Alright, fine. It's a deal. Marina holds out her hand. I take it in my own, and we shake on this agreement. There. Now we've made a verbal contract. If you go back on your word, I'll mobilize my entire legal team. Don't be surprised if the next time we meet, it's at court. At court? But I don't have that sort of money. You'd bankrupt me. Then you'd best not renege on our agreement. Everybody wins. Marina smiles thinly, in the same style I suspect she does when she's cinching complex business deals. This woman, though her cute side is undeniable, and now Marina legally can't deny it, she's kind of scary too. Her backbone's made of sturdy stuff. I guess she's got to be fierce, or she's never would have been able to build her business empire as she has. It's no wonder she's so respected. Now, the day is wearing on. I would love to stay with you and talk, but my company will not manage itself. I fear I ought to be going soon, but before I do, I would like to ask you something. It might sound silly, but are you happy, Hiroki? Now, that's quite a broad question. Happiness isn't all that cute, that cut and dry. It entails a lot of things, from one's job satisfaction to their finances to their familiar relationships to their friendships. Mental health is also pretty important, as is the physical. People can be satisfied in one area, but woefully defective in the other. Happiness comes and goes in unpredictable patterns. It's even more erratic than the migratory paths of birds and fish. For a long while, I don't think I was very pleased with any aspect of my life. I lived in a tumbled-down apartment. I had a long commute to work, and I felt like my boss never really valued me. I rarely spoke to my parents, had a few friends, and I didn't have a girlfriend. The only real relationship I had was with my desk, my laptop, and maybe my camera. It was kind of miserable, not gonna lie. But things have changed so much since I met you, then Marina. I still live in a cruddy apartment, I still have a tiring commute to work, and I still don't like my boss all that much, but these issues don't wear on me the way they did. If I had to stop and think about it seriously, then yeah. I returned Marina's query with a smile. I am happy, and I know I own a good chunk of that to you. Your influence has opened up a lot of doors in my life. I really can't thank you enough. You're welcome, dear. Marina shrugs off my thanks, as though she hasn't done anything at all amazing. Maybe in her eyes she hasn't. Marina is far wealthier than I am, so she can afford to pull strings and disrupt favors. Oh my god. I know the word, but I'm struggling right now. Distribute favors like it's nothing. In the grand scheme of things, she might have gone that far out of her way for my sake. But it's appreciated all the same. She didn't have to do anything. She could have done nothing. She didn't owe me, but she still helped me. She really is a kind woman. I think it's only fair that I should try to help you whenever I can. You are a very important person to me, Hiroki. When you're happy, I'm happy too. Though I've had other partners in the past, they didn't move my heart as you did. I'm the oldest amongst my sisters, and I'm a bit more cynical about romance, but I care about you a lot. I might even love you. I'm a succubus and you're a human, but you're more than just prey to me. You're very, very dear to me. You make that quite apparent. I've never once doubted your feelings. Well, that is good. You are my most precious, beloved partner. I adore you. So please, take care of yourself. Don't let yourself get swept away in the arms of another. I don't mind sharing you with my younger sisters, as I've said. That is no problem. But there is one person I absolutely do not want to share you with, under any circumstances. What? This conversation has taken a bit of a dark turn. I thought Marina meant to reassure her love for me before heading off to another day of the office. But maybe not. This doesn't sound like a piece of motherly advice. It sounds like a real, genuine warning. Why? This is kind of intense. Haha. If I didn't know any better, I'd almost think that I was in some sort of danger. I laugh a little, trying to diffuse the tension, but it didn't work. The strange, sombre atmosphere remains, settling upon my shoulders like a layer of freshly fallen snow. That is exactly what I am saying, yes. Marina's worst words send a shiver running down my spine. Suddenly, I feel cold. My little joke doesn't seem all that funny anymore. Am I really in danger? Well, I can't say for certain. There's a chance I'm overreacting, but Hifumi had some business with Lady Yu a week prior, so she had to return to the succubus realm for a brief spell. Have you heard about Lady Yu, Hiroki? Yeah, I have. Hifumi told me a little about her. She told me Yu rules over all the succubi, and Hifumi acts as her advisor. That is indeed correct. Lady Yu is rather young, as far as rulers go. She wasn't supposed to ascend to the throne. That should have been Hifumi's job, but she abdicated. The crown then went to Lady Yu as the next in line to inherit it. I suppose you knew this too. Hifumi mentioned it briefly. That's good. Then I needn't burden you with too many explanations. I won't go into any more details. I don't have the time for it right now, but I spoke to Hifumi a few days ago when she returned from the succubus realm. She was a bit shaken, actually. She was? But why? Did something happen? Nothing has happened just yet, but it seems Lady Yu has taken a liking to a particular human boy. A boy who is, for some inexplicable reason, inexplainable reason, thronged by a whole harem of succubi. It shouldn't take too long to guess who this boy might be. Well, after hearing all that, there's only one person it could be. You mean... I gesture towards myself. Me? Marina nods. Clever boy. I knew you'd work it out. It's not like it was a great mystery, but isn't this kind of weird? Why would the succubus princess be interested in me? I'm not that special. How can you say that when you have ensnared the heart of 5 succubi already? Clearly you must be. It's very rare for one man to attract the attention of so many succubi, and it's rare for one man to withstand the brunt of one succubi's passion, let alone 5. Thinking about it in such terms, it's to be expected Lady Yu would take an interest in you at some point. I was foolish for not considering it. So this Lady Yu, has she been keeping tabs on me? Marina nods. As Lady Yu needs to manage the succubus realm, she doesn't often leave it. But when succubi have ways of observing the human world from our own, from what I have gathered, Lady Yu has been watching you for quite some time. For all I know, she might even be watching you right now. We would be none the wiser. Ah. I glance around the hotel room, suddenly paranoid. I'd never considered the possibility of being observed before. It simply hadn't occurred to me. Now Marina's planted the ideal in my mind. However, I can't shake it. My skin prickles. I feel uneasy. Was Lady Yu watching me that one evening when I was with you and Hazel? What about the time Cosmo showed up at my house wearing a bunny girl costume? Or last night when I was in a hotel room with Marina? If she was watching me, I'd have no way of knowing. Now that's unnerving. So this Lady Yu, what does she want with me? Of that, I am not certain. It is possible she means only to watch you, to see what will happen. But if Fumi was concerned, she might try to make your acquaintance here, in the human world. If you intrigued her enough, there's a chance she could try to take you with her to the succubus realm. Then she might make you her plaything. Plaything? That's right. If that were to happen, you would be completely at her mercy. She could lock you up in the succubus realm and never, ever let you leave. Lady Yu is jealous, possessive sort. If she gets her hands on you, there's no telling what will happen. I'm worried about you. So please stay safe. Don't let your guard down, and don't trust her. I love you a lot, Hiroki. Marina's eyes bore into mine. They look very intense and serious. I'd be heartbroken if you stole you from me. The train rattles around me as I make my way back home. Since today's a Sunday, I don't have any work to attend to, which is just as well since it's almost 9. If I did have to go into the office, I'd be late for sure. My boss might be taking a soft approach with me as of late, but I don't think he'd let my tardiness slide. He's such a sticker for timekeeping. He might as well be German. Though I had a pleasant night, I feel a little sleepy. Marina's early stirring roused me, and I couldn't get back to sleep. I feel tired. Maybe I'll get some shut-eye when I return to my apartment. That sounds appealing. I do feel a little bad for Marina, though. It's a weekend, and she had a large charity event last night, but she still has to go into the office. I complain about my job all the time. I don't think anybody likes working after hours, but Marina has it way tougher than I do. She's very impressive in all sorts of ways. I hope I was able to relieve her of at least some of her heavy burdens last night, though I did inadvertently create a whole new problem by sullying her expensive dress. She told me not to apologize on pain of legal action, but I still feel kind of bad about it. I've never been in a position to ruin a 3 million yen dress before. The idea might sound cathartic, but in practice, it's not that much fun. The dress isn't the only thing weighing on my mind either. The train rounds a corner. My head bumps against the wall, and I wince. I can't stop thinking about what Marina said this morning. According to her, the ruler of this all succubi has her eyes on me. I'm not sure what that entails exactly, but if you intrigue her enough, there's a chance she could try to take you with her to the succubus realm to make you her new plaything. Could that really happen? It sounds like a storyline lifted straight from a light novel. The sorts with the long, underwielding titles you see in bookstore windows, stealing shelf space from the classics of my high school English teachers loved, like Daza and Mishima. I guess it doesn't sound like too terrible of a fate in theory, but Lady Yu is a jealous, possessive sort. If she gets her hands on you, there's no telling what will happen. I don't know the first thing about Lady Yu, but Marina's words don't paint her in the most compelling light. To be honest, she sounds kind of scary. If she can use succubus magic, she'll be able to watch me wherever I go, whatever I do. I'm only a weak, feeble human. I have no way of hiding from her. What will happen if she really does decide to kidnap me? I'll be entirely at her mercy. And I'm afraid I've never seen Marina or the others ever again. My journey back home is uneventful despite my anxieties. I meet nobody suspicious on the train, not even Cosmos, nor during my walk back to my apartment. Everything seems normal. The sky is blue, a few birds are chirping, and the people I pass by on the gray sidewalk hurry by without a word. Nobody gives me a second glance. I fumble with my keys for a little while outside my apartment. My palms feel sweaty, though it's not a particularly hot day, and I drop them twice. Why am I shaking? Nothing bad's happened. I have no reason to feel afraid. Everything's normal, like I said. But something doesn't feel right. I breathe in deeply, then examine my apartment. It looks the same as it always does, with its dreary windows and age-spotted walls. When I try the front door handle, it doesn't budge. It's still locked, just as I left it last night. I don't think anybody's been here during my absence. But even if they have, how would I know? Succubi like Cosmos can pass by locked doors with their magic. I should know from past experience. She's done it enough times. Theoretically, this Yu should be far stronger than Cosmos. She could get inside my home with ease if she wanted. She could be sitting inside waiting for me now, in fact. She could. Stop it. I cascade myself under my breath. You're being stupid. There's nothing wrong. You didn't even know Lady Yu was watching you until an hour ago. Why are you letting it bother you so much now? Of course I know why it's bothering me now. It's because back then I didn't know there was anything for me to be bothered by. Ignorance is bliss, as they say. My overactive imagination is trying to make up for my lack of panic over the last week. I was being observed, unknown, and it's working too. You need to get your act together. There's nothing to be afraid of. Just go in. I grip my key a little more tightly, then I twist it. The lock on my front door gives way, and I step inside. I close the door behind me, I take off my shoes, then I pad into the kitchen. There's nobody here. Well, of course there isn't. I sigh deeply relieved. What did you expect? You're so stupid. You must have worked harder than you thought this last week. You should probably take a nap before you start hallucinating for real. And you really have to stop talking to yourself. Scolding myself thus, I open my bedroom door. It looks much the same as always. My futon is arranged neatly in one corner, and my shelves are stacked with books and CDs. My blinds are up, and sunlight filters in across the titanium mats. So far, everything's as it should be. With an exception. It's only one exception, mind you, but it sure is a doozy. Oh God. Ah, so you're finally here, Hiroki. You kept me waiting quite a long time. Don't you know that that's rude to keep a lady waiting? I'm disappointed in you. But what? You? If I hadn't tucked my keys into my pocket already, I'm sure I would have dropped them. I feel like I've dropped my jaw, too, all the way down to the floor. I was right. There really is somebody in my apartment. It was a mystery woman. I don't know how old she is, but I think she must be a similar age to myself, in her mid to late 20s or so. She's kneeling on my titanium floor, hands folded upon her lap, like a Hina doll. She raises to her feet, however, upon seeing me. Everything about this woman is graceful and elegant. Her hair is long and dark, and it cascades all the way down to the small of her back. She's attired in a soft swath of white and blue fabrics, and her eyes are similar, outlined in blue. When she rises to her feet, she does so without a sound. Her dress ripples like the waves of an ocean. Her outfit looks like it should be cumbersome, but it doesn't hamper her in the slightest. She looks just like a goddess, but there's something familiar about her. I'm sure I've seen her before, but where? Could it be? So is that how you mean to greet me? I am disappointed. The woman purses her lips together in evident distaste. I thought you would be happy. Didn't you miss me in the slightest during the last few years? I am wounded. What? But you... Her words stir a series of memories within me. It's her. I recall a cool, powder blue sky, a similar shade to this woman's dress, the roof of my old high school with its iron fence. A gentle breeze, the fluttering of a plaid skirt, hands clasped, eyes wide, a gentle query spoken between two students in their final year of school. I know this might be sudden, so forgive me for the intrusion. You are free to turn me down if you wish. I do not mean to inconvenience you, but please, Asagawara. No, Hiroki. Will you go out with me? A single syllable escapes from my lips. It tumbles from my mouth in the stillness of my apartment and seems to shatter on the titanium floor. That's why this woman looks so familiar. It's been a long time since we last spoke, but I still have dreams about her. I never thought I'd see her again. I thought it was impossible. Didn't she go and study abroad? I was certain she'd be in America now, or Europe. She always took everything seriously, but she was particularly fastidious about her studies. Though she was a transfer student, she had the best grades in her class. She could have done anything, gone anywhere. Everybody knew she was special. That's why the class kept their distance, I think. They knew she wasn't like us. That's why I was so surprised when she asked me out on that rooftop, only a few months before our university entrance exams. She was my first ever girlfriend. We were only together for a little while, but I cherished the time all the same. I never thought, this is... Yuki? I stared at her, stunned. I think it was easier to swallow the existence of succubi than it is the sudden, seemingly miraculous appearance of my ex-girlfriend. Yuki, is that really you? So you remember me. Yuki smiles. I am relieved. I had feared you might have forgotten. The thought was painful. Yuki rests one hand upon her chest. I did not like to think that our time together meant so little to you when you were my very first. You were my first too. You were my very first girlfriend. I know it's been a while, but I'd never forget you. I couldn't. Why, thank you. You have always been so passionate, though you needn't shout so loudly. I was standing right here. Yes, I'm sorry. It's alright. I like the passionate part of you. It is amusing. You were very dear to me once, Hiroki. You still are, in fact, though it has been a long time. Much has changed, myself included. I am not the girl you used to know, or indeed the girl you thought you knew. I have grown up quite a bit since then. Yuki tips her head to one side. She seems to be considering something, because she sighs. I did not think I would ever see you again, but I suppose I have always been drawn to you. Once again, you piqued my interest. What do you mean? Didn't you go and study abroad? I went abroad, in a manner of speaking. I had duties to attend to. You see, I still do. I am a very busy woman. I am sure. If Ufumi knew I was here, she would scold me. I am behaving poorly, but what am I to do? I thought I could leave you be, but how can I? That is no longer possible. Wait, what? I stare at Yuki in what I'm sure is a very intelligent manner. Not. It seems like it's been my lot in life as of late to be perpetually surprised and confused by everything. Sometimes I wish I could instigate events of my own violation instead of being forced to react to them. I'm starting to feel a little like a chess piece being pushed around on a board with no free will of my own. This is all insane. Let's slow down for a sec. You said you know Hifumi? Yes. Yuki blinks, her expression uncomprehending. Is that an issue? I guess not. It depends on which Hifumi you're talking about. Why, the same Hifumi that you know. Yamamoto Hifumi, the famous actress. Who else? Who else? Right. Who else, indeed. This is even more complicated than I first imagined. So, how do you know Hifumi? And more importantly, how do you know that I know Hifumi? I haven't seen her in a while, and our relationship is supposed to be a secret. It may be a secret from the prying masses, but I am not so easily fooled. It is my duty, you see, to know everything my subjects are getting up to. Subjects? Yes, indeed. I have been monitoring Hifumi for quite some time, and you too, and Cosmos, and Marina, and Hazel. They are all my subjects. They can hide nothing from me. I see all, and I know all. And I know exactly what they have been doing with you. They are trying to take you from me. What? Then you mean... My voice trails off. I know exactly what this all means. I have to be pretty stupid not to have put it together by now, but it all seems so ridiculous. As if it wasn't enough that my high school girlfriend has appeared in my apartment, quite out of the blue. That would be a pretty big plot twist in its own right, but this... Isn't this too much of a coincidence? What are the odds? Yuki, you're not really Yuki, are you? That's how you referred to yourself when we went to school together. Marina calls you something quite different. Yes, I can imagine. She has never much liked me. What scornful epithets does she use to refer to me? That bitch, perhaps? What? No. Yuki is such a demure, mild-mannered girl. Hearing her say a word like bitch is quite shocking. My perception of her is falling apart here. I thought she was a serious, tranquil beauty, but in actuality, you're you, aren't you? You're Lady You. You're the ruler of the Succubi. Yes, I am. Yuki, you, rather, doesn't refute the impossible claim. Instead, she nods. I am Lady You. I once lived in the human realm, as all young Succubi do. Do you learn of human culture? To learn of human culture and of your ways. But since the completion of my training, I haven't dwelt within the realm of the Succubi. I have dwelt within the realm of the Succubi. I am the one to whom all the Succubi you have met look up to. They all revere and fear me. At least they should. But perhaps, given my youth and relative experience, I have been too soft on them. Yu's. I have to remember that she is really you. Eyes flash. My subjects have been very, very wicked. They all have been trying to sway your heart. I am a magnanimous ruler. I am no tyrant. I am prepared to forgive one or two indiscretions. You are an interesting person, so I do not begrudge my subjects for their initial interest. But 3 times, 4, 5, 6, use finger clench into fists. I cannot stand by and watch them seduce you any longer. It simply is not fair. I am the one who met you first. Not them. You are my first partner, and to this day, you are my only partner. I loved you sincerely, and part of that love continues to exist within me. I am sure you feel it too. We have a connection. We are meant to be together. I've often thought of you, true, but There are no buts. Yu cuts across me, her voice sharp and cold. My legs tremble, I feel faint. I remember that Yuki was quite cold and distant. A lot of the guys in my class were perturbed by her. They thought her unsettling. I thought so too once, until she confessed her feelings to me on the rooftop. That came as a huge surprise. I hadn't realized Yuki, the stern and austere honor student, could even feel love. I was wrong on that count, though. Her love was very earnest and sincere, so much so that it survived for years. Yuki was always serious about her schoolwork. It stands to reason she'd be just as serious about her heart. I do not want my subjects taking you for themselves. They do not deserve you. I want you for myself, and I have come here to stake my claim. I will have you back. That's very nice, Yuki. I mean you. But is that really your decision to make? I'm happy to see you again, of course. And I don't mind making you a cup of tea so we can reminisce about the old times. But there's a reason they're the old times. I'm not your boyfriend anymore. I should be able to date who I want, shouldn't I? If you were any other person, I would agree with you readily. But since logic does not apply in your case, you are mine. Crap, her eyes are starting to look scary. The lights in her pupils have vanished. She isn't listening to me at all. I can't just go along with this madness, can I? Try to reason with you. I'm not yours. I'm my own person. I rent this apartment. I have a job, and there are people here who care about me. I can't go to the succubus realm with you. I can't. You can, you must. You do not have a choice in the matter. Yu takes another step towards me. She's backed me into a corner. There's nowhere for me to run. I shall make you look at me and only me. I was your very first girlfriend, and I fully intend to be your last. Now, stop struggling. This needn't hurt. It will be all over soon. You, wait! I tried to petition her, but it's to little avail. Yu takes me by the arms and pulls me in. Damn it. Her mouth presses against mine, her lips are soft and warm, despite her cold and unapproachable appearance. Deep down, beneath her layer of elegant white and blue silk, Yu's heart is very passionate. It must be, for her to come all the way to Japan to find me. She's been watching me for weeks, months. It could even have been years, for all I know. We only dated for a little while, but she never stopped thinking of me. She's always loved me. Now she comes back to claim me. I can't escape, though. I want to. My legs seem to have locked in place. My body is frozen. I can only sign into Yu's hot, demanding kiss. Her tongue coils with mine. I can taste her saliva. There's something sweet about it, almost fruity. The softness of her skin, the warmth of her lips, the taste of her tongue. It all serves to melt that what little self-restraint I still possess. Reality begins to warp. My skull pulsates. My legs feel weak. Yu's kiss is draining me. I can't keep standing any longer. I break the kiss and step back, or at least I try to. I don't get very far because the wall's in the way. My head bumps against it and I groan. The room shifts before my eyes. The walls, my bookcase, and the titanium mats all blur together. My strength fades. Then I pitch forwards. I hit the ground, limp, and insensible, and everything goes black. And that's where we're going to call it, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate everybody for stopping by. I appreciate the ones that will stop by and check this out later. Remember, if you are not subscribed, go ahead and do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button. It helps out my channel, and I appreciate it more than you know. We'll be back again tomorrow for part 2 of this. Or part 3 of this, my bad. But for now, I must bid you all adieu. Goodbye, and good night.